Very warm welcome to everyone joining this session from Tech Mahindra and Azure. Let me switch on my camera. Yeah, from different parts of the world. We'll be recording this session and we'll share the link post the session to all the participants. We'll also plan to leave some time for Q&A in the end, but feel free to post your questions in the chat anytime during the session and we'll try to answer there or we'll follow up. And if you are asking any questions in the end, please you can unmute yourself. We'll mute everyone at this point of time when the session starts. Nagam, you want to move to the agenda?
Yeah, I'm on the agenda slide.
Yeah, a very quick overview on the agenda today, right? So today's topic is accelerate SAP transformation with Microsoft Azure. I presume most of you are on a legacy ERP situation, looking to simplify and modernize your ERP landscape. Some of you have already embarked on a journey towards the intelligent enterprise. As we all know, cloud is typically at the center of such digital transformation. With that context in mind, we are planning to cover one, the need for such transformation, and second is why SAP on Azure in particular. Why is it the best choice for customers to leverage this combo to drive digital transformation and superior customer experience? Third is how Tech Mahindra can help with such programs and large transformation initiatives. And finally, some use cases of how Azure plus SAP combination can help you transform beyond just the core. So that's the agenda for today. Uh, Moving on to the introductions. Nigam, you want to go to the introductions? Yeah.
We are there.
Yeah, today in the session, we have Damien, Director, SAP on Azure Specialist. He's from Microsoft Azure. Damien, you want to wave your hands? And thank you for joining today and supporting Tech Mahindra. And we have from Tech Mahindra side, myself, like I said, I lead our SAP practice for strategic industry verticals here in North America. We have Naigam, who is our SAP on Cloud Global Head. He's based out of India. We have Pankaj, our data and analytics practice head. And finally, we also have Advait, our Azure architect. So this is the team that we have today. We'll be walking through the our session today. And you'd like I said, you please hold on to your questions, or oral questions till the end, or you could ask it in the chat anytime during the session. Nagam, next slide, please.
It's on.
Yeah. So before we jump on to the topic, a very quick overview on Tech Mahindra. Many of you would have heard of Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra is a part of the large Mahindra and Mahindra group, a $21 billion conglomerate. Tech Mahindra is a leading IT services firm with expertise working across multiple industry verticals. More importantly, we have a very mature SAP practice that's been in existence for 20 plus years. And we are a SAP Global Strategic Services partner. So we are the top 15 partners for SAP in the world. We provide everything from SAP advisory, implementation services, upgrade rollouts across multiple lines of business, right? Be it customer experience, supply chain, finance transformation. So we provide across all line of business, we provide transformation services and of course, managed services as well. We have our own proprietary discovery platform for SAP to also help with S/4HANA migrations. We have industry templates for specific industries. We have our own industry cloud solutions built using BTP as well for many industries. And within Tech Mahindra, we have created a separate organization for cloud.
Pratha, I think I'm losing you. Damien, can you hear Pratha?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
But I can hear Prakash.
Yeah, Partha, looks like we are missing. Uh,
I think for some reason
but
we're
probably
missing.
I'll from Partha. Yeah, no problem. I'll take over from because for to manage the time, I would like to take over from there. I have covered about as a practice, and when it comes to cloud transformation, last year we launched a focus business unit for cloud, combining the power of our SCP capability, the cloud transformation capability, in a seven-pillar strategy. That is going to be the differentiator. What we wanted to bring it to you for the next 30 minutes, how we can help in terms of moving yourself into the cloud, along with the digital transformation to S4. So just to give you a glimpse, is it something how vibrant is the market, right? We started seeing, even though S4 is in place for a while and customers are looking at transforming to cloud, we started seeing a lot of large enterprise, because SAP is something, a system which is very close to the heart, and people would like to retain it in on-premise, and a lot of legacy, kind of development which has happened. In the recent time, we started seeing large enterprises are looking at transformation. Some of the names, what I want to call out is where we started the transformation program, where we have already gone live. Just to give you a glimpse that, in case if you're yet to start, you are not too late, but at this time, you're at the right time to be on this session to understand how we can help you in the journey to transformation to S4 and cloud. So why it is important, most of you would have gone through what analysts are saying. Potentially, as Partha was mentioning in the beginning, we see cloud as a centerpiece for any digital transformation, nevertheless for SAP. That is why, what the predictions are saying, around 85% of the customer will start embracing cloud by 2025, not limited to the cloud modernization, even for enterprise workload like SAP. And potentially, with the pandemic hitting us hard a couple of years ago and continues, I don't see a sign of that going away from us. Maybe we'll start learning to live with that. So most of the customers have started looking at a DC transformation little more, focused on two count. One is to manage the remote operation and start leveraging the value of cloud beyond an infrastructure, as well as the sustainability commitment is also driving that to move to cloud. So that's why we see an increase in transformation. Hopefully that's why you're also in this call to understand how we can do that. And another important point from an SAP context, potentially 78% of the customers are looking at moving to S4, not because 2025 or a 2027 movement is delaying the process, but people have started looking at how early I can start leveraging the innovation that comes part of the S4 transformation, keeping the digital core thin and clean, and start innovating around. Then obviously the statistical evidence says most of those customers are using the transformation to land on cloud. So with SAP opening up their way of life to being a cloud organization, so we see an increasing customer looking at S4 HANA on cloud with hyperscaler as choice. In this case, we are seeing some of the things Demin will cover why SAP on Azure is more important. Moving on,
Yeah.
what are the reasons?
Nagam, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. I had a power glitch. Apologies for that. Yeah. So
No problem. I just have a couple of slides. You can pick up from here, Partha.
sure. Thank you so much. Yeah. So the question is, why to move to S/4HANA now, right? I think Nagam explained on how cloud is the center of all these transformations, but it's not just moving the SAP workload to S/4HANA or not. It's because 2027 is the end date for ECC support. There are different reasons why customers are moving to S/4HANA today. So I'll cover some of that points here, right? One is faster innovation. So if you have to leverage newer technologies like BTP, which has the AI, ML, RPA, IRPA, or IoT blockchain services, you need to modernize your core and work and along with it leverage the BTP platform to drive innovation. So it helps you with faster innovation, which is what most of the business is asking now. Second is ability to manage uncertainty, right? As we all know, during COVID, most of the organization faced supply chain disruptions, right? So the demand went up, went down. It was all unplanned. So the ability to react quickly to such situations, understand things in real time so that you could know the right stakeholders can collaborate and take quicker actions. So visibility, collaboration amongst their stakeholders is all very, it should all happen in real time with suppliers, be it with the customers, third-party logistics, so on and so forth. And finance, for example, want to have the ability to predict the cash flows, for example, right? All these happened during the COVID last few years. So we see that this is another reason that customers are like planning to do digital transformation to manage uncertainty. Third is, of course, address readiness to address cost pressure, right? So moving away from data center, moving to a cloud model, moving to a subscription-based models, consolidating your applications into one ERP, moving now applications that are outside the core ERP into ERP, all reduce your total cost of ownership, right? And also the modernization comes with a lot of automation capabilities which help free up resources. Fourth is pivot at market speed, right? So there are new business models that are emerging, right? So there are smart products, smart factories. We have subscription-based billing models. So to address all these new business models, the existing legacy ERP couldn't suffice. And finally, the agility, right, to meet fast changing business needs. So when you have requirements changing, there are a lot of mergers and acquisitions happening. There are business changes happening, like I said about the models. So you need to react quickly to those situations, ability to scale up, scale down your application infrastructure as per business needs, leveraging cloud, all that is possible in the new world, right? So these are some of the reasons we have seen customers move to S4, apart from the
Let me speak
obvious,
it.
yeah, yeah. So next slide is
Hello,
around the,
Damien. How come you have an absence?
I think there's some background. Yeah, so there
Go ahead,
are
Pratap.
yeah, there are three themes that we are seeing for S4HANA. One is the IT-led transformation, and second is the CFO-led transformation, and finally it's business-led, which is multiple lines of business getting impacted due to such transformation. So all these three cases. So initially, as you know, when SAP launched the HANA database first, it was all customers moving to the suite on HANA model, and then those customers are now upgrading their HANA, suite on HANA to S4 HANA. So that's more of IT driven initiative which focuses on speed, the power of HANA, reducing the database footprint, reducing support costs by some instance consolidation, moving to cloud, etc. CFO led are more focused on improving finance KPIs, right? Like improving DSO, for example, right? Or reduce or doing a reduction in the days to do the annual closure, for example, of the finance books. And the business led cuts across multiple areas, and it typically involves not just S4, but it's S4 plus Ariba plus IBP plus EWM plus SAP Analytics Cloud, or combination of some of these. It cuts across, and typically these are greenfield implementations based on best practices. Takes multi-year programs, right, and multi-year commitments from business and IT to deliver such programs. So I've given some of the benefits that customers have seen delivering the after implementing such programs. As you all know, it's work in progress. Many customers have not moved yet to S4 HANA. Uh, so this is this will evolve over the period of time. But this is basically the three kind of themes that you would see. Uh, with that, I would hand over to Damien to talk specifically about now that we have covered how S4HANA can help and why S4HANA move is right at this point of time. Damien would cover why specifically SAP on Azure, right? Why is it the best choice for our customers to leverage the Microsoft Azure platform to be a centerpiece of all such transformation? Over to you, Damien.
Right. And thank you very much, Partha. To those on the call, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Damian Rodriguez, from Microsoft SAP Global Black Belt team, right? So today I'll talk about Microsoft and why Microsoft is the preferred cloud platform for deploying your SAP workloads, specifically as it pertains to S/4HANA, HANA databases, and why customers choose us, right? If you look back historically, our adoption, our solutions, specifically the Windows servers, the databases that serve the SAP platform, we been engaged with SAP way back from the adoption of Windows Server, adoption of and certification of SQL Server, and we grew substantially to a point where those technologies became the centerpiece for many customers that have adopted SAP. By adopting SAP, they essentially adopted or implemented solutions that are at the core of Microsoft. And that's one of the reasons that we like to touch upon our relationship. Our relationship is solid, built on trust, and it goes as far back as 25 plus years, right? That allowed us to collaborate extensively, build collaboration-centric solutions for our customers, because everything we do is aimed at providing better solutions, business outcomes to our customers. And that is evident in our team's integration, our supply chain integration, our solutions with SAP Digital Supply Chain Initiative that extensively leverages our solutions in a way that we extend and innovate on top of SAP with our integrated services, right? So SAP as a hyperscaler, SAP as a solution provider, has adopted our cloud because, like every organization, SAP as an organization is also cloud centric. The cloud of choice has been predominantly and favorably ours. So, as a result of that, as a result of our experience running SAP for many years, 20 plus years approximately running SAP, um, we have extensive experience in deploying, running, managing all different spheres, all different um, areas of SAP, from the application stack, from the infra stack, from managing day-to-day activities, from innovating on top of it, and allowing us to extend all those innovations that we built collaboratively with SAP, extend it to our customers, right? That's why we look at dogfooding as an option. When I look at this slide specifically, that then gives you additional details in terms of why we are the difference, why Microsoft is the preferred cloud. The relationship that we've built, the number of users that consume SAP on Azure, both from SAP as a solution provider running their workloads on Azure, as well as Microsoft running our mission critical and business critical SAP workloads in Azure, allowed us to build that trust and extend that trust to our customers. And that is really visible in our market share, right? Extensively with the offerings that we have, which is a major differentiator. We have the most certified VMs, the most certified large machines, including Intel obtained. We were the first to certify those. We are present in more regions than any other hyperscaler, and that allows our customers to tap in to the enterprise scale deployment framework for SAP. Security, compliance is another topic that is at the center of digital transformation. When customers are embarking on that digital transformation, they are usually looking at, is the cloud secure? Is it compliant? In that realm, we offer compliancy at industry level, we offer at government level, and we offer security extensively by leveraging our technologies that have been used for many years for customers that are looking to securely allow their users to seamlessly connect and transit that connection in a way that allows them to connect from the entry point, leverage single sign-on to extensively access systems that are SaaS-based, SAP-based, and any other solution that leverage that kind of technology. That's why security and compliance are a major differentiator for us, right? Customers also look at and usually drive the approach to cloud-centric approach, digital transformation with data, right? And that's the reason why we've worked collaboratively with SAP to provide advanced data analytics solutions, services that are at the center of our offerings as far as services for data and analytics, right? So that customers can extend and leverage and have a single pane of view by bringing SAP and non-SAP data together to kind of leverage those to realize business outcomes. Integration with teams, allowing customers to innovate with different solutions from GitHub, low code, no code type of approach, automation, code centric with BTP fully integrated with it, right? Hybrid and multi-cloud options available with the availability of SAP digital supply chain with Microsoft Edge, allowing customers to extend those functionalities and leverage those, which makes us unique in that space, given the plethora of services available, native services, I might say, available to our customers for them to consume. Next. Right, so on top of that, when you look at adoption-wise, we're not only talking about SAP, we're talking about system integrators, the global system integrators, the smaller shops that have come to realize that, hey, deploying SAP is not that easy. You know, it's comprised of different multifaceted layers from technical aspects, from the assessment aspect to the actual deployment. It usually is very, if not done well, it then disrupts and increases costs for the customers. And the message here is that our market share alone and the fact that SAP has deployed its mission critical applications, specifically SAP workloads in Azure, is indicative of our preference, why we are trusted, right? And why many other companies, Fortune 500 and more, and that is visible and evident in the SAP Insider benchmark as it pertains to the market share of the different hyperscalers in relation to adoption. We are the number one. Okay. Right. So to extend in that message, and we not only are the preferred cloud, and we don't say it lightly because we try to market something that is not proven in fact. We have proved to be aligned with best practices, allowing customers to scale at a rate that no other cloud can provide, given the plethora and variety of offerings as far as VMs that are certified for HANA and SAP workloads, capable of scaling up and down, hyper-threading capable, right? Offering storage solutions that was at the center of adoption, specifically NetApp storage for our customers. We were the first to come up with those solutions, and those solutions still prove to be very much at the center of adoption when customers are looking to extensively leverage those to secure, allow them to scale, have resiliency, and be in a position to be performant. We also know that customers, when they're looking to migrate and adopt any hyperscaler, they look at inside, how support-wise, how this hyperscaler would be in a position to support us. We not only did the dogfooding by implementing ours, we also have a team of resources, that would allow you to provide leading support, leverage our support and of course allow your transition to the cloud to be as seamless as sustainable for you, right? We offer dedicated SAP resources, CSAs, fast track, and specialized team members that are specifically at the core of deploying and guiding the customers in the process of deploying, envisioning, uh, generating, and putting together an architecture that is performant, that is reliable, that is secure, that allows the customers to extend on top of it with a vision and strategy, not only of the now, but the future. As it pertains to, do I deploy it? Would I be able to scale? Would I able to go in a divestiture of sorts, acquisition of sorts, and bring that workload in a mix to my existing? Would the infrastructure as a service allow me to scale, you know, extensively to the point that I'm satisfied and my user experience and the users that are part of my business are satisfied with it, right? That's why we say we use a seamless approach to migration, right? Using our tool sets for you to be able to leverage those in a way that many other hyperscalers cannot do that, right? At the center of it is also data. We know that data is at the center of everything, and this is evident in some of the um, proven and proven facts and customers that have come across and vetted and validated our processes in terms of, hey, do I bring SAP? Am I bringing SAP? Do I have other data that is all over the place? How do I visualize that data? And that is usually a thing that customers do after the fact, after they migrate, but also customers that are really at the center are focused on digital transformation. They drive it with data, right? So, and they are looking for real time, right? They are looking for predictability. They're looking for predictive maintenance. They are looking for acquiring data from sources in real time so that they can leverage those to predict business outcomes, predict challenges, and allow them to be in a position to realize it and visualize the data with solutions such as Power BI, Click, Tableau, SAP Fiori. So that in itself gives you an indication how extensive we are integrated with SAP, non-SAP solutions, how we approach data, right, from the perspective of allowing customers to realize business outcomes. Okay, so the one thing about SAP and non-SAP data, right, it's right allowing customers to intelligently gain insights from SAP and non-SAP data, right? From that perspective, of course, we offer native solutions that allow customers to leverage monitoring capabilities, right? Native to Azure, right? Things that are available for HANA, right? We do have HANA monitoring solutions for SAP, monitoring solutions for HANA specifically that allow customers to look at the infra piece of the deployment of the HANA databases and the NetWeaver stack through a single pane of view where they will be able to monitor various environments at one point, right? Understanding exactly the KPIs, understanding exactly and gaining insights of the data for them to be able to right size, scale up and down on demand by leveraging not only automation to realize those and be in a position to be cost effective, you know, and manage the cost in relation to the run rate for the different environments that are comprising the SAP landscape, right? High availability, and it's another thing. I would say here recoverability, right? Recoverability in the sense that you would be able to leverage native backup solutions for HANA, native backup solutions from MS SQL databases, and allowing customers to not only use the backup policy, which is at the center of understanding how am I going to be able to recover? How am I mitigating any disaster? Am I only using backup as part of that, right? Do I use any native solutions? Does the hyperscaler offers that? We do offer. We have it uniquely positioned for HANA and uniquely positioned for some SQL database, for SQL Server databases, right? Data governance, it's another key point, right? Because when you are looking at the end-to-end holistic approach of governing your SAP landscape, your infrastructure, you have to have a baseline. You establish that by positioning proper governance, proper approaches to governing, and creating a blueprint for Azure deployment, defining proper policies, and role-based accesses. And those are all leveraged natively with our own solutions that we then offer customers to consume those services as needed. Um, with that, I will pass it to Nayagan, and please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Damien. And okay, uh, in that, Partha has introduced me. My name is Nagam. I head the SAP Cloud business globally based out of India. So next 30 minutes, we'd like to cover, how Tech Mahindra helps our customers to accelerate the SAP transformation. Potentially, what are the options available to customers when they think about moving to cloud? See, we all know that, the journey for some of you or most of the customers who are in SAP cloud. So we still see, even though S4 HANA is on the bridge, in terms of 2027 we need to do, but most of the customers who are waiting to transform to S4 are started looking at how I can address those elements which I spoke about. The need of the hour is to move to cloud, either to move away from the data center or leverage the cloud features. They're all started looking at migrating an ASIS or a lift and shift to the cloud. That's one path we started seeing. And then, as Partha was saying, some customers who want to do an IT-led transformation, not only modernizing infrastructure as well as start using some of the features of HANA to do a real time insight if we're adopting into the HANA. But there are many customers who wanted to take the full potential of the digital core coming from S4 and then innovate beyond S4 or looking at S4 transformation. But these are all not a sequential process, but these are the various paths we see customers. But one thing is very evident. What we are seeing is whichever path the customers are looking at, they wanted to keep the core thin and clean, either as a preparation to S4 or on S4. And we started seeing customers using increasingly the SaaS solution. That's where we come handy to help them to build the peripheral application, which is coming from SAP, the business network or all those things, as well as building an extensibility solution from BTP or Azure Cloud Platform. We have a couple of use cases to cover what we have done using Azure services on cloud for customers who are running ERP. Moving on, I just wanted to give a quick glimpse, since Partha also mentioned, we have launched a cloud business unit, and we have a focused offering for SAP on Azure. So some of the services we provide, customers in different stage of journey. Some customers would like to understand and how this whole journey will span out to them. We provide a comprehensive cloud advisory service. We have set up, frameworks and tools which helps customer to bring up, the discovery of application, build the roadmap, then help them to migrate to cloud. We use our MAC framework, which helps to in the journey of migration. Then the transformation is a piece which I will cover a little later in terms of how we help the customer in either S4 transformation or transforming beyond in as part of the enhance or innovate. Then obviously the managed platform. Some of the metrics shows our experience and depth, and these are a few customers for reference. Most of them are in NDA, but I just want to show you that some renowned names we do serve to them. And a couple of things, how we have changed our way of life when it comes to cloud is we have done quite a few acquisition in the last year and year before to strengthen our Microsoft ecosystem as well as the SAP transformation. And something to point out is Digital Honors is a new one we acquired a few months back, who are serving SAP customers. We manage the all SAP SaaS footprint S4 HANA cloud. Pretty much 1,500 odd customers we are managing. Those are the few things which I want to call out why we are the right partner of choice when it comes to a large scale transformation. Some partner credentials or an analyst credentials also there for your view. Just to get onto the context of this transformation, we do have an S4 HANA comprehensive transformation offering, which starts from road mapping. See, many customers know very clearly we would like to go to S4, but they are all in crossroads how to decide the path, what is the business case, how it stacks up. It's no longer an technical upgrade of those days when we are in ECC or ERP. So it's really has got more value when you put a right business case in front of the business, because most of the things directly influences the business value. So we do have pre-packaged solutions to accelerate the journey, and we've come with a lot of best practice and content and pretty much an integrated delivery from it and post support. But how do we help, to cutting to the chase? One, we help building the business case. That is where most customers are, probably looking our support in terms of how we can create a business case, how the S4 transformation would help them to, get the right value in terms of moving to S4 beyond the technology change, and how do we help them to finalize the move option, because there are many ways to go to S4. It could be a new greenfield implementation or a brownfield or a even a landscape transformation when customers have got multiple SAP or non-SAP ecosystem. But we help them to decide the path. Then eventually, when you're on S4 digital, how we can innovate further. That's where the extensibility and the BTP and Azure as a platform we leverage to build that ecosystem to probably innovate beyond S4. So just to pick up one at a time, we have a very robust transformation journey framework. Primarily, we would like to, understand the customer challenges or the business requirement and create a kind of a strategic requirement or a functional and technical requirement to categorize this to build what we call it as, whether the infrastructure transformation should lead, or do they have to do an understanding of the custom development if it's an existing ECC customer, most of them may be carrying their legacy, how we can help them to, understand the custom development, maybe, help them in a process of decoupling or a decustomization, then focus on data, right? That's another important element in this kind of a transformation. So we have our own, partner-led tools and our internal data transformation tools, like Celanese, Signovia, and Techem's own IPs like UDMF to help the data quality management, then bring up with a clear business case, which helps to stack up what are the things which will help you to build the journey in terms of the not only transforming ECC to S4, also to probably embrace the SAP product roadmap, moving some of the planning part from a traditional SCM into IBP, or bringing the feature of combination of other business network solution which is available, or SCM is pretty much in a compatibility mode. Some customers would like to do a transformation, we help them to move to success factor. These are some of the things will help them to decide the right transformation path and roadmap as a holistically. I'm not talking about technical path here, I'm talking about bringing in your business case that helps you to take a decision to move to S4 and beyond. That's what is a step one. We pretty much help our customers, and this is a journey. Probably this happens, depending upon the complexity of the customer, somewhere from 4 to 8 weeks or plus. And we try to combine the power of our internal tools and our business value. We do what we call it as a needle analysis in terms of how customers can map themselves against the competition, so that where you're better or you're behind. And that will also help you to take a decision how the simplification or a process harmonization will help you to get a best out of the S4. Moving on, just to give a simplified view, right? Potential transformation paths, most of us know, because not necessarily a new customer who is net new to SAP should follow any implementation. Many times we have seen customers carry a baggage of custom development and probably a lot of data, but little outdated because they were not done in a consistent, they were done a technical upgrade, not a functional transformation during the journey. So those customers, sometimes, the assessment and the business case, what I spoke in the previous slide, stacks up to say that, maybe a potential conversion because they are running on ECC, but it ends up in a new implementation. Some customers, based on those analysis and the outcomes with our own Epsilon, which is a tool which we help to assess the SAP footprint and combining the power of Celanese and Signovia from a process mapping, we come up to a conclusion. Probably they need to be converted, which is a good and nice way to move around. And some customers with a multiple SAP footprint, we probably land on the landscape transformation approach. These are the potential paths to start. And most important point, which any existing customer is, the custom code impact, because that concerns a lot eventually, when they have been using custom code for a very long time. So the important element is how it is going to impact because of the transformation. That is where, our Epsilon tool comes very handy to assess the custom code and the potential impact and how much it would probably requires a change on the journey, right? Reading, what we call it as an pre-remediation preparation, and then followed by custom code remediation with the help of Epsilon aided and use the standard SAP ATC. And most of the customers we end up doing, call it as an decoupling and decustomization S4 journey, because there would have been, a lot of codes which would have been developed, maybe unused, and many customers, they would have not had an option in ECC at that point of time, would have developed those customized processes. We help them to map to what is available in S4 or what is required, can it be decoupled, and then taken into an extensibility approach. That's the next point which I wanted to talk about, right? We have a custom development framework which we try to qualify what can be managed with an in-app extensibility, and then what need to be moved as a side-by-side extension. When I say side-by-side extension, it need not be only BTP, even probably use the low-code, no-code platform available as part of Azure. So those are the things we look at it, and eventually something which is critical to business, we try to recommend as a custom development. And another important point where we leverage our internal tool and framework UDMF, or use the migration cockpit, as well as leverage the partner tools like SNP, transformation backbone, or Synity's data quality management framework and tool to help them in terms of data migration, in terms of data quality management, clean up the master data. And one other important element where we have a sweet spot is we have very in a good experience in terms of data lifecycle management or information lifecycle management, helping customer to archive and manage those data outside the core S4, and so that the S4 is a little bit clean and thin to manage. And eventually, any S4 transformation, the process of standardization, harmonization is important. We try to help them with the outcome of the business case to build that journey for you. And then testing is critical. We do have our own platform, which is Litmus and Magix. These are all things which is pretty much tuned to help customers in defining the test strategy, as well as doing the test automation part. And still, in case to case, we leverage Solution Manager as a frame or a single source of truth to drive the entire S4 transformation. And we also use our partner tools wherever required. So end of this, what we want to achieve is how I can create a core which is thin and clean for our customers, and how we can create a platform which helps to build the digital ecosystem by innovating for them. So that's where we wanted to combine what we call it as extensibility or a surround, leveraging the power of the cloud platform, both from SAP BTP as well as from Azure. So this does not mean when I say innovate further, we need to be on S4. That's why I want to call out, keep your ERP. Some customers who are not ready for S4 transformation, we start doing the decustomization, decoupling, and start leveraging the features of BTP platform, either IRPA or the conversation AI or AML kind of things, or bring in Azure low-code platform to develop Power App, Power Automate, or integrate Teams. So we have a couple of use cases with that. We'll talk on Teams later, and obviously the ease of integration when it comes to Azure. Damien did talk about because what is available entire Azure platform is seamlessly integrates with a lot of out-of-the-box connectors, which helps to leverage the value of the Microsoft as an ecosystem when it comes to SAP. And the more important point is today most of us call data as gold or bullion, right? So how do we bring the operational data, which is your data coming from your ERP system, as well as your experience data could come from different sources, create the data ecosystem and leverage data analytics from Azure as a platform, and probably create the visualization on top of it, either using Power BI or even SAP Analytics Cloud and few other choice of platform what customer uses. Then try to bring in the predictive analytics on top of it. And next section, Pankaj will be talking about some of the work we have done in the data analytics space to give a insight of how we help our customers in terms of doing the data transformation at scale, both on customers running on ERP or a BW data and so on and so forth. With that, probably I'll hand it over to Pankaj to cover the analytics solution, followed by Advait on the Microsoft Teams case study.
Yeah.
Over to you, Pankaj.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Pankaj Bajaj, managing the cloud competency in Tech Mahindra. So let me talk about very quickly on SAP data on Azure, right? As you are aware, SAP is one of the largest ERP systems, right? Generating a lot of transactional and operational data. Now this transactional data, can be utilized for the advanced analytics, which is prescriptive and predictive analytics purpose. So there is a need to transform this data into actionable insight, and that too at scale, right? So Azure Data Platform provides that framework, tools, and technology which will convert IT and OT both the data. IT is which is generating from a traditional S4 and ECC system, and the OT data is generating from OER system, right? Both the data can be combined together, uh, uh, inject together using a data lake on the Azure. And from that data lake, we can actually transform that data into actionable insight, and that can be served to the different user community. May it is a data scientist community for predictive analytics like inventory analytics or supply chain analytics, or for a prescriptive reporting just to give them the predefined generated reports. So I am going to talk about couple of use cases here specifically. So one of the use case or case study, we have done it for one of the top USA telecommunication customer. So they have the challenges in terms of lacking the knowledge on supply chain management. They have issue that they are not able to trace the actual inventory versus the expected inventory. So we are run the retail inventory serialization program, where we combine the IT data which is coming from the SAP ECC system, and the OT data, which is IoT data from the OER system. We combine that data using data event hub and as well as the Azure Data Factory. We loaded that data in Azure Data Factory and on the data lake, and from there we actually run the different Power BI reports, and as well as we done the inventory map gap analysis. So our solution basically describe, how we can onboard the different data on a faster way. We also achieved, almost 3 million of USD cost saving by this RSSP program. What are the challenges we solved is, because the data is inconsistent and generating from the different system, there is a need to consolidate the data at one platform and track the inventory which is expected versus the actual inventory. So by doing that, what we understand is where is the variance between these two sets of inventory. Can I track the inventory and actually consolidate and report to particular business user to track the inventory and do a consolidation on that. So this is one of the very important use case. We done it for one of the largest global customer. The next use case is, can you go to the next? Okay, yeah. So one of the these use cases, we have the data, disparate data generating, as a unstructured and structured data on Hortonworks Hadoop platform. And we also have the analytics platform from SAP BW. Now, what are the challenges is we are actually referring the different platforms for analytics purpose. So for unstructured data, we were using a Hadoop platform, and for structured data, we were using the SAP BW. Now, what is the statement is, because of this is on-premises system, there is a lot of cost on the ERP or infrastructure related cost, the licensing cost. And because of that, what also happened is, because we are doing the analytics into the two different standalone system or data silos, we called it, there is no consistent the reporting coming out of that. So what the solution we deliver is, we combine these two data into a single data lake platform on the Azure. And from there, what we have done is, we actually given this data to data scientists and business community for data consumption. What are the benefits of these approaches? We found that because there is a consistent Azure platform or native platform, we save almost 30% into the total cost of ownership. And as well as, it will be now very easy for governance and monitoring the entire analytics data, because it is a data Azure native tool set. And as well as, you will get a consistency in the data approach. So overall, we can move the SAP transactional data into the Azure system, and can be utilized very effectively for advanced analytics purpose, which will give you the scalability aspect because it is a cloud, which gives you flexibility approach because it handles both IT and OT data, and it will actually do a cost optimization because everything is on cloud and it is a pay as you go model. So, this is what analytics. I'll hand over to
Sorry,
Advait.
Pankaj, we
Yeah,
have a
sorry.
little time. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
Thanks,
Okay.
Pankaj. We have very little time. Maybe we'll keep open up for 2 minutes. Advait, only 2 to 3 minutes for you. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, see, I'm here just to present you about the idea about how to utilize the teams that we have done for some customers. So basically, here you can, as you can see, multiple verticals within an organization, like kind of for manufacturing, oil and gas. There are different users who interact regularly with each other in teams, and generally the perception is that Teams is seen as a collaboration tool for just to chat the way we are doing it. But then Teams also can be utilized for connecting disparate systems within SAP, and where all the team members of various verticals can collaborate with each other to fetch certain information and make good use about it. So to give you a very small example that we have already implemented in one of the customers, where they had invested into Azure, and their SAP was on premise, and so they wanted something to do with their HR systems and their sales and inventory management systems, where how they can easily collaborate with each other. So we provided a team solution where a Teams application was built in, where and a chatbot was also implemented into it, where the users could interact in natural language through the chatbot, um, to fetch certain HR related information, to apply any leave, for example. Even the sales operation teams, where this was an oil and gas customers, where generally the employees work remotely, and to fetch certain information they have to go to a respective portal and fetch, and that is not a very good customer experience. So we provided all this information available on Teams, so anybody can read that or go through that information from their mobile devices. So that was the idea, and a lot of real-time information was available on this. So there were a lot of churn happening to the HR departments to fetch certain information through mails, which was lying around different portals that we tried to integrate and bring into to Teams, wherein we were able to reduce a lot of tickets coming to the HR team through mails and other systems. So that was the main financial KPIs that we have achieved for the sales teams and inventory teams. So maybe on paucity of time, I can go in too much detail into it, but we can have another session where I can explain you in a better way.
Thank you, Advait. And see, pretty much we are closer to the time, and we are at the end. Unfortunately, we could not give the full 10 minutes what we wanted to give, but we are more than happy to extend 5-10 minutes in the call. Whoever is having any specific question, feel free to unmute and ask questions or even put it on the chat. And we are even happy to have some specific focus session if you're interested to know about S4 transformation or a cloud or a whatever, Pankaj and Advait spoke about. Right. Okay. I don't know whether there are no questions. Ranmay, did you check the chat? Let me also do that.
Yes, there are no questions.
Okay, good. So hopefully,
Hi, Nigam. I hope I'm audible. Sachin here.
Yes, Sachin.
Yes. Right. So this is a question for the entire team. So, I mean, as far as analytics is concerned, when we compare different cloud platforms, let it be Azure or some other cloud platform. So from a customer point of view, uh, what if customer using some other analytics platform and they want to transform to Azure, as per the strategic, roadmap. So what are the factors or what are the features within Azure which will help to enable to migrate from one analytic platform to another? I mean, there are few situations when I come across how I can ease that situation where within Azure there are some out of the box transformation features for existing analytic platform to other, or some inbuilt features, AIML features. Would like to know more about it.
So there are two, three things if I can quickly take up that, right? So now Azure has, the data lake which can process structure and unstructured data with the help of, the data bricks. It can give you the data availability in a very, very faster pace. It also has the couple of models, right? The time series analysis and as well as Azure ML Studio, which actually facilitate your advanced analytics use cases. And currently their new offering called Synapse Analytics also can process all the kind of AI ML workloads, which is very very easy to process and run the customized use cases. And their visualization tool is actually NLQ and NLP enable, so that you can embed it, let's say Python or R, everything within a Power BI or Synapse Analytics to run your advanced analytics use cases. So yeah, we have seen traditionally, or in fact modern stuff, that there are a lot of people trying to do a hybrid model where their data platform gets stored onto the different cloud, and then their advanced analytics use cases run on the Azure one, right? Azure can be a single cloud as well, the hybrid cloud. So both model is there. We can definitely double click on this, and then, I can provide you a specific answer if you have any question.
All right, good. Thanks,
I
Pankaj.
just want
Thanks a
to
lot.
add I just want to add additional commentary color in relation, specifically in relation to wanting to bring data from an existing solution, whether it is in one of the clouds, whether it is on premise. It's all about understanding the metadata, understanding use cases, and the available connectors. We have connectors, APIs that would allow you to establish that connection, right? And go beyond connectivity, understanding the data model, understanding the metadata on the source, whether you want to extract it in real time or near real time or in batch, then we position the extraction and leveraging all these tools that we mentioned so that you can achieve your business outcomes in a faster paced type of approach.
Thank you. That is helpful.
Okay. I think if
Partha,
there are,
we are pretty much 2 minutes over the time. You can probably conclude and wrap it up.
sure, sure. So I want to thank everyone for joining today for this session. I hope it was useful to you. And please feel free to send out any follow-up emails or questions that you may want to ask that may come up down the line. If you please feel free to reach out. I'll add my email address to this chat box, post this, so you can write to me directly, and we'll take it forward. Thanks again and have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Damian. And
It was very
bye.
informative session. Thank you.
Thank you.